Hey everybody, and welcome along to today's market update and economic update. My apologies for the last few days and the lack of one of these sessions. Unfortunately, I went away and got a little bit of a bug, and I haven't really been able to do much market analysis for the last few days. But we're back to it today, so let's get on with that. Look, a lot of news in the next few days, but really only a couple of bits of news that really matter for mine. Look, we've got Bank of Japan outlook report, monetary policy statement from Japan, Bank of Japan press conference. All will be interesting, no doubt about that at all. Advanced GDP quarter on quarter in the US. Anything that has to do with gross domestic product in the US will be interesting again. Main refinancing rate in Europe. Unlikely to see a change there. The monetary policy statement to follow again. This stuff in the ECB press conference will be fascinating. Canadian GDP month on month tomorrow, but really, as far as news goes, this is a next week story, and that's just the truth of it. When we have a look at news for next week, we've got the president election in the USA, and that is not the RBA rate. That's important, but not as important as the president's election. Really, all eyes move to America in the markets now, and really what the markets are trying to balance up is, I guess, a few things. There's this theory that if the result's close, that Trump won't leave, and that will leave America in a state of limbo for some period of time. I think talk about civil war is personally just way overblown, but still, I think we've got to be aware that there is talk of this kind of stuff and has the market a little bit unsettled. And what the market's looking for is certainty. And as we approach the election, what we're starting to see is a suggestion that Mr. Biden may win this election. And there we go, guys. There's the camera on and running. Sorry that wasn't done a little bit earlier. We are seeing more suggestions that Mr. Biden might win this election. And as that happens, the market is starting to price in some certainty. Now, look, one of the things that we are really aware of is that in the last election, they were also very sure that Mr. Trump, this far out, it was certain that Mr. Trump was going to lose to Mrs. Clinton. I mean, no respect to Hillary Clinton, but it didn't happen. So the markets were watching this quite carefully. Now, when we were talking about the forming of this triangle on Bitcoin, talked about how the break was bullish, that it formed this range inside this bar, and that first close above was a sign that we were going to go to this level and to this level. All of that should be banked from you guys if you're doing that kind of stuff now. And really, the question is what's going to happen now. And look, we're going to see a lot of this. Large down day yesterday, little bounce bar starting today. Personally, I wouldn't trust the bounce bar at this stage. My feeling is that this is a reaction to the probability that Biden will win. I think we're going to see more news in the next couple of days suggesting that Biden will win. And if that's the case, then I think any bounce back here will be quite small, and what we're likely to see is continuation of this move down. Levels, look, I think if we can get below the low of the existing bar today, that would be enough for me. That would be a I think if we can get down into here, I don't know if we can get all the way below there. If we can get below there, maybe below there, even on the 4-hourly bar. Look, really, the first red 4-hourly bar will start and see me trying to get reasonably short on these things. Not so much Bitcoin. I'm not an actual trader of Bitcoin. While I have some, I guess really we just need to get below that level there and it close below that level there, and I'll be starting to get bearish on Bitcoin. And look, in the short term, I'll be a little bit bearish on Bitcoin for a little while now until this starts to have an impact, starts to move a different direction. Look, same type of pattern here. See, the Nasdaq sold aggressively yesterday, and again, looking for this this bar here. Now, this is a pattern you guys will know if you've been watching the show that I love this kind of pattern. I called it up here as it was going to go short. I love this kind of pattern here, normally I'll be looking for this to close around here and then come to the other end of the bar, but it's not what I think is going to happen today. I note that we haven't got past this horizontal level here, and that suggests to me that right now, again, the same thing kind of applies. Below the bottom of this bar here, below the bottom of today's bar, would start and get me bearish and targeting down here. Look, I wouldn't be at all surprised if the election done with us around this level here. Onto the S&P 500. Might be time for me to close my positions on this, unfortunately. Same pattern here. Look, what I'll probably do with my positions eventually, just drag the stop loss up to this level here. I bought about 2,800, so I'm okay to let this go if I need to. At the end of the day, you always know you're trading into this kind of volatility. It can go your way and give you big winners, or it can come back at you, and you need to be reasonably careful. For mine, same thing here. This is a very decisive directional day, and look, if we do get a bar that closes up around halfway today, then I'll be pretty happy that this is over and we're coming back the other way. But right now, any move below yesterday's close, and I think that all bets are off, and we are heading back down around the 3,000 mark possibly on the S&P. Gold, the same story. Finally, broke out of this channel here. I think for now I'm going to take this. I might leave that on. We broke below this channel and we came back down to long-term support of this 100-day moving average. It's been support, and really we've stuck between. We've talked about this as well over and over, that gold is spending as much time as it can between the 100-day moving average and the monthly pivot. And that's exactly the move yesterday, Monthly pivot to 100-day EMA. Now, again, I would suggest you any move that we get a 480 close below the bottom of this bar here, and we're in trouble on gold, and short we are going. The possibility of this staying in the range and heading back up to the top of the range, well, that'll be fascinating. We can watch that unfold, but I'd need to see a 4-hour bar again closing around this level before I started to believe that this was going to bounce back to the top at this point. Now, just like this was a little channel forming, and it had higher highs and higher lows, higher highs and higher lows. I'm going to take this one away for now. And I'm going to say just exactly the same. We've got a high here, followed by a low, followed by a lower high, followed by a lower low. So while it's in a long-term range, while it was looking a little bit bullish previously, it's now starting to look a little bit more bearish. And I think I pull back up to around there, 1894. Might be a place where we start and see it really sell back out again. Well, it was done exactly what we said it would do. We said that oil would go from here to here, and we said from here it would go to here, and we said from here it would go to here, and we said from here it would actually go to here, and then we said it would go back up to here, and now we're saying it's going to go back down to here. Again, similar type thing, really important time forward. Again, you get a 4-hourly close below this range, and 34.74 is very much in focus, and really in this kind of environment, 34.74 is very much in focus, and something around that $30 mark I think is also a distinct possibility. There we go. We might try that one there. We'll get a bit closer on that level tomorrow. That looks a bit more like it to me. Somewhere around the $30 level comes into focus as well. I actually have Peng Li, the oil trader, on my show tonight, 7 o'clock. Watch me live. Watch a student who's become an oil trader show you how he's made a fortune trading oil. Euro dollar. Another one that sold quickly yesterday, rallying back in, and another one that's sitting inside a long-term range and just testing the bottom of that range. And same thing kind of applies here. You get a close below that range, and boy, we've got some downside numbers here that look a long way away that look pretty interesting to us. Certainly, I think the first level we'd be looking for if we've got a 480 close below that would be around here, around the 116.29, 116.29 level. In the meantime, we'll let it sit inside the range, and but if it breaks out, we get a close down below the range, then down to here would very much interest me. Dollar yen. Well, those in Julian's trade call group know that dollar yen is on a burn down. He has once again taken 100 pips out of the market, just like that. The man's a genius. Same kind of thing here now. It's a little bit different from mine. Decisive day 2 days ago. I'd have to say technically for mine, not a decisive selling day yesterday, and a bit of buying. And I'd say it's the other way around a little bit here. I would suggest to you guys that if we get a close above the high of yesterday's bar, then we will form what we call a ring low, and a move back up to weekly pivot would look very likely for me. So we'll watch that with interest. Look, I'll be back tomorrow to talk more about economic calendars and charts. My advice to you is that the closer we get to the election, the more as a retail trader, You need to make your own decisions, but there could be some big unpredictable moves as we close in on the US election. It's time for retail traders to start and close up positions or get stop losses to safe areas and just let it unfold in front of them. I don't think you want to be too actively trading this if you have no experience. If you're an experienced trader, it's a different game, and there'll be some great moves for experienced traders to have a crack at. I will leave you to make the final decision on what's best to do for your money. It is, after all, your money. I'll be back to do market analysis and economic update tomorrow around the same time, possibly a little bit earlier. We'll try and update the calendar for you guys before I come on. In the meantime, guys, make good decisions, stay calm and make good decisions, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.